Hey guys, hello and welcome back to another video. My name is Vincent and I'm still trying to break the record of most films seen in a cinema in one day. Yeah, I wish. No, it's 1 year unfortunately. And today is day 126, the end of week 18, I believe. And now I am at 267 films seen this far. 17 films were seen this week and this has been pretty good. I saw some great films like This Property is Condemned by Sydney Pollack with Robert Redford and Natalie Wood, an old film that I love, based on a one act play of Tennessee Williams. Otherwise, Stalag 17 by Billy Wilder, great film about a POW camp. Otherwise, there were some great new releases like Love Hunters, or I'm not sure if that's the original title or if it's Hounds of Love. It's an Australian film by Ben Young that I highly recommend, about a girl that gets kidnapped by a couple and that is not very healthy. Otherwise, there were two films that I saw, one that came out last week and one that came out today in France, and that's Dunkirk by Christopher Nolan. And I'm not going to go into any spoilers, but this is a great film in my opinion, that if you want to go watch this film, as you should check it out in theaters, on the big screen with a great surround system, because I think Hans Zimmer for this needs to be nominated for Best Score, but also the sound design for this has to be shown a little bit of appreciation at the Academy Awards, because this film, I think it's the perfect example of a great sound design and the perfect use of music, because I think throughout the film you have always an underlying score, but the thing is that it's not very subtle, in the sense that it's not that you don't hear it, you always hear it, you always notice it, because it adds to the intensity of this film. This is what this film is about. It is just intensity, anxiety, fear of death, the instinct of survival. And the music adds so much to this, with the sound design, the music, the sound of the machineries, the explosions, the planes, the gunfire, the boats, everything just adds up to a beautiful and great film. This is, just to mention, this is not necessarily a typical war movie, because even though it takes place during the Second World War and is about the war itself, an episode at least, it is more of a survival story, because you won't have a real fight of two, the Allies against the Nazis. That's not what it is about. It is about different people, the 400,000 men that were stuck on that beach, waiting to survive, waiting to be saved, and waiting to go home. And this is just why you are completely immersed in this story, because there's no break. I don't think there's any break during this film. Usually you have some fast-paced sequences, and then you have a little bit of rest where nothing much happens, where they talk. And in this film, you don't rest. You are hooked from start to finish. And Christopher Nolan, took a very unconventional way to narrate this film. But I'm not going to say any more, but it is entertaining, thrilling, everything you need to have in a film. Go watch it if you can. I highly recommend it. Otherwise, there was Spiderman Homecoming. Spiderman Homecoming, very entertaining, a lot of fun. Tom Holland is great. Highly recommend it as well. Not a masterpiece in any way. I still think that Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and The Winter Soldier are my favorite Marvel films, but it's a film that if you want to have a great time, go check it out. Tom Holland is great, a great Spider-Man, and the good thing about this is that it doesn't go over the origin story again, and even though you have Iron Man in this, it's a standalone film. You have Iron Man, but not that much. So that even though he is there, he's useful and he adds to the story. He has very key moments with the character, but otherwise he's not involved in the story, and it is a standalone movie. And I think that a great thing that they were able to do is, even though now you have all these Avengers, and usually you ask yourself, well, where's Captain America? Where's Iron Man? Why didn't Hulk help out in this matter? Well, it's not that they explain it or justify it, but it lends itself to just be a story about Spider-Man, not involving the other Avengers except for Iron Man to some degree. So that's a great thing that they did, because sometimes you just want to make sure that the story fits in a standalone film and doesn't need the others. So the only thing I would say is that even though they said that this was supposed to be kind of John Hughes film, I mean, it's a high bar to be able to make a Marvel movie like a John Hughes film, and I wouldn't say that they reached that level. They tried, and it doesn't matter because it's funny, it's entertaining, it's all it needs to be. So that's Spider-Man Homecoming. Go check it out, just as Dunkirk. Very different films, but thrilling and entertaining in different ways. But for both, it counts. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Salut.